Hey everybody, welcome, welcome. Come on in, get cozy, get comfortable. Stream will be starting in just a minute. Glad you're all here. Thanks. Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. Welcome to WagWorksGA. I am Jeff. I am the illustrator of a husband-wife, writer-illustrator team, and we work on KidLit graphic novels, as many of you already know. So tonight, I usually like to share a little bit of my favorite KidLit stuff, but I really want to finish this comic since I kind of fell short of that last week. So I'm just going to jump straight into warm-up and we can talk along the way. So I'll bring over our art window. Hello, Clip Studio. And got my handy dandy Pokemon cards here. I cannot see, I hand selected which ones, but I cannot see which ones. Gonna draw one at random and that's gonna be our warm-up. So we got Torchic, my favorite Hoenn starter. So gonna grab the reference image real quick. Always remember there's no shame in using references. In fact, you might want to use a whole bunch of them. Resize this guy a little bit. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. Label our reference layer. I can spell, really, I can. Maybe I'll move this guy on top. All right, so if you've been here before, you know the drill. I encourage you to draw along just for a little bit of fun. We're just gonna take 5 minutes. We're gonna draw this Pokemon. You can do the pose that it's in. You can do your own original pose on it. The idea is not even necessarily to finish the whole thing. I'm just gonna do a sketch layer, then I'm gonna move to pencils, and if there's time, I'll move on to lines. Really, this is just to loosen up the arm, loosen up the art brain, be thinking about shapes, and just having fun, getting ready to move on to our main event. So, got my 5-minute timer all set up, and here we go. All right. Well, I hope you're all having a good week so far. This week's been a bit better. Last week wasn't bad. It was busy. It's been good. It's kind of flown by for me. One super cool thing that did happen this week, actually just today, was I got the chance to talk to a library class, actually, about meteorology. What do I want to do with this Torchic? Maybe we're gonna do something like, man, that's not the tool I want. All right, starting with my nice big tool, by the way, or big brush, just to really rough in these shapes. But yeah, I got to speak to a library class today, which is pretty neat. Like a homeschool group, not as an artist this time, but as a meteorologist. Which was also cool. They're doing a class on like natural phenomena and and also minerals, which, that part wasn't quite meteorology, but got to talk about the main teacher talked a bit about things like the aurora, and then I got to do a little spiel on rainbows and give the kids a little fun activity to do. Foot like this. It's gonna be a sitting playfully kind of thing. Yeah, I like that. Now, does Torchic actually have wings? I don't think Torchic has actual wings. I've always read these as like ruffles here. Hey, Julie. It's good to have you back. I'm glad you were able to figure it out and get back in here. How's your week going? Kind of draw the feet there. Your week is going weird? Oh, are you talking about the wings? Sorry. So there's a little bit of a delay between when the messages come through for me and when I speak. So if I reply oddly or out of turn, that is why. I mean, I could just be spacing out, but usually that's not the case. All right, beak is kind of draw our little T here. Oh, thanks, Julie. Yeah, I wanted to go something kind of cute, a little bit kid-like. The shines in. It's maybe getting a little detailed for a sketch layer, but it's all good. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Let's go ahead and move on to the pencils layer. Alright. Another cool thing this week was I got to watch a webinar for the Superhero Project. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. Or, well, not a webinar, it's like a live draw, actually, from their creative director. So they're a group that does these, they call them power posters, for kids with, either chronic or terminal illnesses and things like that. So like they do a questionnaire and, kind of come up with like a superhero theme and name, and then the artist will draw like a superhero poster for the kid and they'll print it out and give it to him. I think they've got about a group of about 550 artists so far that have worked with them. Some pretty big names as well. Yeah, I don't know if you maybe seen the some of the posts circulating on Instagram this week, because they're definitely looking to bring on more artists. But it's super cool. I actually applied, so hopefully they'll accept me and I can do that. I think it took me a little while to be like, am I good enough? Can I do this justice and not make some poor child cry? But I think I can do it. All right, that is our timer. Oh, thanks, Julie. All right, it's our timer. Not super far on pencils, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm really happy with how this one's coming out. I definitely want to come back to this one another day. All right. So here we are. We're going to do it. We're going to finish it today. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. Also, so I know I've talked up our Clip Studio Cafe group. I showed the thing with the lines from last week where I couldn't get the vector erase to work on the background lines. And we figured it out. And it turns out I was missing something obvious, which is the fact that I did not make my foreground layer a vector layer. This is actually just raster. So of course the vector erase is not going to understand that those are lines, even if I'm working in the background. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna redraw this just real quick, right? So redo that as a vector. Make sure I got my nice black line here. Desaturate you just for fun. So yeah, I knew it had to be kind of something simple, because usually for all that Clip Studio does, usually it just works without any issue whatsoever. So all right, let's do this. Let's get this. Now, technically speaking, Clip Studio does have a convert to vector function, and sometimes that can work well. But I think part of the problem here is that I use like a textured brush. So like if I were to, go crazy and try to do that, because I tested this out and it wasn't super great. So you can just do this and be like, okay, just give me a raster layer. Blending mode normal is perfect. Wait. So you know what? That actually came out way better than the last time that I tried this. Wait. No, I converted it to raster again. What am I doing? What am I doing? All right. If you were screaming at me that I was converting it to a raster layer through your computer the whole time, thank you, but it sadly did not work. No vector layer. Nope. There we go. Okay. Okay. Vector layer. That is what we wanted. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was seeing before. I mean, maybe if I was drawing a ghost comic, I could give it that kind of otherworldly feeling. But no, that is not what we're looking for. So I'm just gonna redraw you. So one thing I learned doing a presentation to a group of kids on Rainbow is it's surprisingly hard to find prisms. I literally ended up just pulling something down from our chandelier, like one of those little glass things, because it had enough facets where it would refract the light, and it worked out pretty well. It wasn't too bad. it was a bit of an adventure. Don't mind me just turning this small child upside down. Boop. So, Julie, how's your week been going? I think I asked before, but in case I didn't. Do I try to fit this in here? It's gonna... Okay. Not quite. Too thin. I'm just gonna leave it. Don't want to tangent it. Oh, that's right. The grandbaby coming soon. That's really exciting. And the move, is it looking like it's gonna be soon? Like, I think you said September maybe? Oh wow, that's exciting. Man, you just have all sorts of stuff going on. That's awesome. Wow. All right, I am almost back to where I started. But like, more better. Whee! It's a tangent. The dreaded tangent. Nemesis of every artist. So I am making it my mission tonight to start forcing myself to use hotkeys while I have a keyboard available. Oh, this is not coming along there. All right, come on. Although right now I don't particularly need one. I think it'll get really useful when I start using the eyedropper tool and I'm doing more color stuff. It is kind of a nice feeling when you've already done all the work of figuring out your lines and you're like just tracing. Oh, that's so cool. An Illustrator breakdown session. So was this like inspired by the picture book breakdown? Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I do miss Southern Breeze. Every now and then. I guess, there's nothing really stopping us from joining in to the meetings. Just life. Life and time. As they do. Okay. This is it. This is the moment of truth. This vector array should now work. Yay! Okay. Okay. So, if I want to be super smart about it all, which who doesn't, I'm going to save these kitchen colors from panel 1 instead of having to switch constantly between all my layers. All right, hotkey number 1. Oh, look at that. If you're wanting to learn more about Clip Studio, by the way, Julie, holding down Alt turns your tool into the color picker, which I don't know about you, but I use constantly. All right, gonna save you here. And move to next open slot, save you here. Next open slot, save you here. Any other colors we got going on? This guy, right? Save you here. Save you here. So Julie, were there like any really cool takeaways from the Julie? Are they the Julie, Sophie Blackwell session? So I draw. I'm drawing on the tablet, so it's a Microsoft Surface family. This one actually kind of folds between being a laptop and a tablet, which is pretty handy. Like I had one of the Wacom bamboo tablets that you had to look at the screen and draw on the thing. And I practiced a little. I was starting to get it, but it makes a huge difference when you can just draw straight on the screen. And I know there's some pretty good entry level, like if you were looking, because I think you were working on the like the Wacom, right? Where you were looking at the screen but drawing on the tablet. The same. You're the same. Okay, cool. All right, I'm just gonna save that shadow color off too. Boom. All right. Yeah, I know for me, it was kind of the same thing. I got it, and then I just never set aside the time. Because like when you sit down to draw, you're like, oh, I just want to work on something. I don't want to have to deal with like a learning curve or anything. Yeah, but I feel like when I made up my mind to do it, even just taking like 5-10 minutes, like a few times a week to practice, I was starting to get the feel for it. It's counterintuitive for just a little bit, but then you start to get there pretty quickly. And like, oh, that's super cool. You know what's great, I think, about working in KidLit is like the community, from the people who are just getting started to the people who are like kind of the household names whose work you just love and respect. Like everybody is just, it's such a warm community. I don't feel like there's a lot of individuals that I'm aware of, or I'm not sure if could name any, honestly, that are just generally unpleasant to be around or talk to. Like I think maybe that's part of the benefit of it being KidLit. You know, it's not quite as many prima donnas go into that. Yeah, it's so cool. I think I might have in the past gushed a bit about how much, you know, joining the KidLit community has been, how uplifting it's been for like Ashley and I. But yeah, I stand by it like 100%. It's just an incredible community. Why did you not work the way I wanted you to work? All right. Let's try it like this. Nope. No. I am clearly doing something wrong here. Alright, let's try this. Maybe not. Alright. What about this? No, sir. Alright. Till I figure that out, I'm gonna just close up my gaps. A lot of gaps in there anyway. And I can do this guy. Nope. What is... Okay, okay. Close you. I will say we did get to stay at least a little bit connected with Southern Breeze. Like this week, I've been working on a. We donated they did like the silent auction back. I don't know, was it March or so? I also didn't set lines as reference layer. That could be it. Yeah, they did the silent auction, and I donated like a pet portrait for that. So I've been getting to work on that, and that's a lot of fun. Just about done with it. Still not quite. All right. Yeah, the pet portraits is kind of fun. It's something I started doing. Like I just used to draw our dog a lot before she passed for fun, and we were kind of playing around. That was our first sort of dummy picture book that we started working on. Oh, thanks. Yeah. And I like drawing pets. It's good times, right? And then like Dory from Southern Breeze had let me know about the Atlanta Humane Society had a fundraiser for the luck of the draw, they called it, where you could like people would donate money to them and then post like a picture of their pet on Facebook, and then kind of was randomly assigned to where they could get a local artist who had signed up to volunteer, or they could get like just a volunteer with no background in art whatsoever from the Humane Society, but they would draw a portrait of the pets. So I had signed up and done that for a couple years. I think I've done it about 2 years now. I have to keep an eye and see when they're doing it this year, because it's lots of fun to do. It's also really cool to see all the portraits, because not only are there talented artists that do it, but like even some of the volunteers who claim to have no background in art, like they come up with some pretty fun stuff. And it's really neat. And in my experience, people have just been so warm about like they'll leave comments behind everybody's work and give it lots of hearts. Yeah, it's so cool. And I don't know if other humane societies do it. If you like to draw animals, I definitely recommend keeping an eye out for it for a humane society near you, or if it's just Atlanta. It was cool. But at any rate, I did that one, and then a couple years, and we actually had a person who was a friend with a person whose pet I'd done a portrait with there do a commission earlier this year. Hello? Uh, that is why. Yeah, and I had some friends of family in Atlanta who had like seen art that I'd done of their pet also ask about it. So it was cool. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. You know, it's one of those things that you don't always think of as like gifts for people. The art of their pet, but a lot of people really, you know, enjoy it. And it makes sense because like my mother-in-law did a painting of our dog, and it was really sweet, and it was a nice painting, and so we had that up in our house for a long time. Well, until the move, we're looking for a home for it now. So primitive art, I'm not as familiar with that. Oh, okay, gotcha. I think sometimes the kid-like drawings, like the really simplistic stuff, is actually it becomes more insightful sometimes because there's not all the detail, so they laser in on what's distinctive about something. I know there's a lot of picture books and even graphic novels that they have a more simplistic art style, and it's kind of cool because it's just like you zoom in on what is the core of this image, what's important here, what communicates, what's unique about this thing. I'm just gonna do that. Yep. There we go. All right. We're moving along on this. I'm hesitant to say everything is going to be okay because our kids have been on a super big kick lately, or well, my son especially, with the fifth book in the Hilo series. I think I talked about Judd Winnick's Hilo series last time, the graphic novels. Anyway, like through the book, without spoiling anything, there's kind of this constant refrain of like everything is going to be okay. Like different characters say it at various times throughout the book. I mean, of course, the title of the book is and then everything fell apart. So maybe not as okay as they hoped. Oh, interesting. Yeah, because he did the Hat trilogy, right? That's John Clausen. Okay, yeah. We still quote that book sometimes. I did not take your hat. Do not ask me any more questions about this. It's so good. Okay, that's good. You know, Julie, while you got me here, did you have any Clip Studio questions? Because I'm happy to answer. I'm happy to evangelize for this wonderful art program. Excuse me. Nice. Hey, you know what? I'm a big fan of pencil drawing, actually. Bump this down a little. By the way, just because I'm working on the habit of using hotkeys, I will note that I am using hotkeys to change my brush size right now. Because sometimes I learn things. Sometimes. Oh, that's cute. I love it. Okay. I will say I've been trying to like keep this as like this piece as a piece that I just work on stream. Unless I'm asking my Clip Studio friends what I did wrong. But it does make it a little hard where I have to kind of come back and remember like, okay, how did I do that last week? That's okay, because you know what? We're going to finish it tonight. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Also, advertising doing this on a social platform has been a great way to force myself to be accountable and start to realize how much time things take me. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So, do you mind me asking what kind of project it is, Julie? Ashley beat me to it. Good. Gonna move on to the background flat colors. Nope. You're my reference lines. Better, but not quite there. Oh, cool. Oh, I know why. Better. Better. Julie, I am sure you can make it cute. You absolutely are capable of that. I'm excited you're drawing again some more. I mean, your writing is incredible, and like I love some of the story ideas you've shared. But I'm glad to see you drawing again as well. Nope, I don't have green hair. Not yet, at least. Color in the vent hood here. Let's get this guy. Just having a little focus time here, trying to push through this. The shadows. You know what? I realize that I very commonly, like my default when my brain doesn't want to think about where the light source is, it's just generally going to draw the light source on the upper left side. Like, yes, that's where the sun lives, upper left. But it works. Like in the shadows, like it's a little different for like graphic novel comic work than it is for like some of the more detailed stuff. I mean, you've got, you know, manga and some of the like YA stuff is incredibly detailed, but since for a lot of especially middle grade and younger, and for especially like, you know, quick little comics that I'm putting up on my webpage, or on my webpage, on Instagram, and also my webpage, it's so simple, like it's not actually that realistic. It's just like deciding on what things I want to give a little bit of shape and what things I want to jump out. And that's it. So I used to like do the super extra lots of shading. So try to like flesh it out, give everything like a 3D shape. And then I realized that it kind of, that wasn't the style. And it, for a panel that someone's going to look at for maybe a second, or if I'm lucky, like 5 seconds, it's silly because they're, all you really need to communicate is like a little sense of the depth of things. So I do, when I start doing things more detailed, the shadow becomes trickier for me by a lot. But for this, I'm kind of in the place where I'm like, well, don't overthink it. Just, not that you don't have to try to do a good job, but if I spend too much time on it, especially in this format, it may not be a good return on the investment of that time. You may end up spending 3 to 4 weeks drawing one single 4-panel comic. Wouldn't that be silly? I will say there was a great, it might be on YouTube still, or she might have put one up on YouTube similar to it. Kirby Fagan did this really awesome webinar on lighting. I mean, she's brilliant with it. I think I watched it a couple of years ago, and when I try to do a more detailed piece, like a portrait or something like that, I tend to lean a lot on what I can remember from that. And like what I always forget is like, oh, you can have a secondary light source, right? Like for this, I'm very clearly just drawing like one primary light source. It is in the upper left. And I'm just doing kind of that, you know, cell shaded, hard bordered look. So it's not a whole lot of thought has to go into that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Is it the lighter of the two? It's the lighter of the two. All right. Alright, Jeff, remember to use hotkeys. They are your friend. They will save you time. Also, it just feels real slick. Yay. Nope. That is less slick. But yeah, like I think she introduced like the idea of introduced me to the idea of like you can have your primary light and then like a kicker light off to the other side, and she's, you know, also a very kind reminder that like, you know, the lighting doesn't have to always make perfect sense. You're not 3D rendering a scene here. It's okay if like someone were to sit and like plot out or make a diorama of your scene and it doesn't add up completely. It just needs to be close enough that you're not pulling people out of it. But yeah, like, and like the using different color temperatures for your secondary light and primary light. Yeah, I definitely recommend if you have a chance to check it out. She also, if it's the webinar that I'm thinking of, she also has a really good chunk on using value to really frame the scene. So doing your foreground, midground, and background in different values. So one is light, one is dark, one is medium tone. And it doesn't have to be the same order every time. But just by doing that and paying attention to the values, you can really give a sense of depth and help focus the eye. Which she mentioned was like actually a trick used a lot by Renaissance painters. So it was super cool kind of making that connection. As someone who didn't study like art history in school, who wishes they had studied art history in school, perhaps, it was very cool. Yep. Straight lines. Straight lines. Good night, Ashley. Thanks for joining in. Can you tell that I am the more nocturnal of the two of us? Okay, I like the texture. That's nice. Okay. And do a lot of shadow on that background. Just a little wee bit. Get my shadow color going on here. So like, yeah, your shadow's a little bit much. Yeah, okay. That is reasonable. Oh, right. And this layer needs to be multiply. Better. Yeah, so here with the hair, I like to use a little bit more shadow. It's one of the places I probably put the most shadow in these, just because it gives like the head a little bit more shape, or can give the hair a sense of shape. Not that hair has to be super dramatic. I guess that's... I definitely had a heavy manga anime phase, and I think that's one of the things that kind of stuck with me, is having that little bit of drama to it all, a little bit of visual interest. Sometimes physics-defying hair. There was a period in time where I actually tried to make my own hair defy physics. It, you know, mixed success. Did I do a shadow there? I did. Okay. It's times like this when I'm trying to finish up that I'm like, yes, Jeff, was it really worth the time investment to do shadows on all these cabinets? Are you happy that you did that? I am, actually, but just another way as an artist you can make your life harder. Okay, yep, Boop. No, that will not make you a weirdo. Definitely, I say go for it. I love it. Actually, have you read like the Cat Kid comic club books at all? Because that is it gives me Dave Pilkey vibes. Okay, so he explores like a lot of different ways to make comics in those, and some of them are like photo comics with models basically like what you're describing, where he takes, some of them had like food items, some of them had like action figures that he like modified, like he put clay over them to make facial expressions and stuff, and it works really well, even just the straight up photos of them. But especially if you're using it as reference, that's definitely not a weirdo. In fact, I would take pictures of them if I were you. Yeah, so Cat Kid Comic Club. There's 4 of them out right now. 5th one coming out in November. We love them. That's actually where we got our entrance into the Dave Pilkey stuff. Yeah, and it's funny because they deal a lot with, I think I talked about it once, but they deal a lot with just like what it's like making comics and making books, and some of it deals with like the publishing industry a little bit, and all sorts of things. I think I mentioned like creative block it deals with. They're really good. And the comics that he puts in there are they're great. So the foreground is just, okay, I am in the foreground this time. I must remember, foreground is much more here. Cool, I got this. Bump that guy down. Yay, look at me using hotkeys like a real digital artist. I'm really doing it. Nope. Reference layers, Jeff. Set your reference layer. There you go. And now everything will be just dandy. Nice. Yeah, they're so fun. I don't know. Hey, Mirati. I'm learning. I'm finally learning and forcing myself to do it. So, I realized last time that, like, because you said, shh, it's, and you said your name, Mirati, I totally was like, oh, she doesn't want me to say her actual name on stream. What do you actually prefer? Because I'm cool either way. And also, welcome. Thank you for joining. Okay. Sorry if that came out weird last week, but okay. Well, hey, welcome, Brigitte. I am happy to have you here. How's your week been going? No, why would I do that? Hey, we got some Chocobo music. Hey, congratulations. That's super exciting. So are you doing any thumbnailing or anything right now? Or are you investing more energy on the new project? Oh yeah, hey Frankie, how's it going? Absolutely, I can do that. So this is the whole comic. So that's what we got. So we're getting there, as you can see. Got 2 panels done. 2 panels done. Nice, okay. Thanks. Yeah, so speaking of Brigida, speaking of Chocobo music, my daughter, apropos of nothing, got a ukulele in the last week or so. So like immediately my brain went to like I need to learn the Final Fantasy IX Chocobo theme because it has a ukulele in it. So I've been slowly working on that. Thanks, Frankie. Can I call you Frankie? Is that good? And also, thanks for stopping in. Frank, cool. So yeah, I'm just trying to push through and get this done. I've been only working on this comic on stream. Oh, that's so awesome. Where are they playing? Hey, I mean, if you don't mind saying. Like, I guess for some reason I was assuming like Meriwether or something like that. Because I definitely enjoy some good... Okay, cool. Actually, look, although we haven't done a whole lot of concert events since like the... well, we haven't done concerts in a while unless it's more, you know, kid stuff. I think kids are starting to enjoy some video game music. No Final Fantasy yet. Although I played a ton of Theatrhythm when it first came out. Because I was commuting then, and I spent 2 hours a day on a bus, and it was a lot. but you know, at least it was time I could kind of game and just relax, take my mind off of stuff, not be sitting in a car. Commuter buses are helpful. You know, that's gonna fill everything if I try to do that because off frame. Oh, thanks, Frankie. Okay, that's coming together. Just gotta did the darker line there. All right. So Brigitte, I was gonna ask. So I've been seeing a lot of stuff from the superhero project lately. Oh no! Were you able to save it? Did it land like bottom side up? Is that what I want to say? Bottom side up? Non-drinking side up? That's so cool. Like I finally applied. I was really nervous about it, honestly. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I don't want to like let one of these kids down. Like am I up to doing this?" Oh no. Got to commit to the coke. It's good. It's good. But yeah, it took me a bit to work up the courage to actually apply for the project because it's amazing. Like I love the idea of it. Just nervous. You know, it's like one of those things where I never was brave enough to do caricatures because I was always afraid I was going to just completely upset somebody. Well, that is very reassuring. I tell you, it's interesting hearing a lot of the stories from the people that worked on the project. Oh my gosh, 5 a.m. Julie. Ah, yeah. Get some rest. Good night. Thank you for coming and hanging out. I'm glad we kind of had a co-drawing session. And if you do the muffin thing, please send pictures. I would love to see it. I think it would look awesome even just on its own. Okay, so I do need a color for fire here. That's probably fine. Yep, that is not what I wanted to do. Okay. Foreground looks good. Just add the shadows in. Spell shadows correctly. Which, you know, sometimes easier than others. Yeah, this is a self-contained contained page, just like a little slice of life comic, truly inspired by real life conversations, where my kids used my head to denote something of a large size, and it was just a funny little moment we had. And I'm always looking for stuff like that. It's fun to just do. You remember things. You work on your storytelling, narrative art. Yeah, kind of episodic. As a kid, I got like super inspired by kind of all the standard episodic stuff. Your Calvin and Hobbes, Garfield, a little bit into Peanuts, maybe not quite as much. Far Side, was definitely a big Far Side fan. And then like by the time I got to college, it was more webcomic stuff. Like Penny Arcade was a huge one for me for a bit. I mean, Bill Watterson, he just did it so well. And it's not like it's something that was only good for, a bit of time and now it's not relevant. It still is. Like my daughter still loves just paging through Calvin and Hobbes. We've got like probably 7 or 8 books. And like also 3 or 4 photo albums that I had filled with like Calvin and Hobbes comics I clipped from the newspaper as a kid. Yeah. I think it's so cool. It's interesting to see how well it just speaks to all sorts of age groups. Okay, we're good there. We'll get his shadow, give a little depth to the ear. Maybe a little bit under the glasses. Give some shape to the head. Oop. Oh, that's a good one too, because it flexes with you, no matter like if you have only a short time to read or a really long time, you can kind of fill it either way. Nice. Man, I don't remember a whole lot of state testing. Like we did it a few times. Maybe, I don't know, every 4 years or so we had to do it. But it wasn't a crazy amount. We're good there. All right. All right, gonna get this background nailed out. Wow. Yeah. I don't know. Not a huge fan of like all the how crazy it's gotten with standardized testing, but I get why. Yes, probably. just a wee bit, I would imagine. All right. So okay, you know what? No. Kind of was indecisive about how I was doing this like oven hood cover, so I'm just gonna force in a little bit of a different perspective there, add some kind of cabinet stuff going on. I feel like that makes more sense to my brain. I know it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's nice to have it just a little bit less distracting. What's those guys? Nope. You were losing it the other day? Okay. Right, foreground job. Okay. So set my reference layer, and then also remember it's not gonna care about any of this foreground stuff. There we go. Oh wow, that's kind of a big ask. Oh right, and here. I mean, yeah, that would not be my first priority. No offense of, you know, to your Goose character. Oh, well that's nice, right? So you gave them something to go with. I guess that's the luck of being fairly new to Twitch and fairly anonymous. I don't really have a lot of people that I don't actually know showing up yet. Yeah, maybe a little silly, but I think it's really nice. Like, it's cool. Cause like we're doing art live because it's fun. We like doing it. We like sharing it. So it's cool when you can help do some of that stuff. Your first one? Oh wow. So what kind of art do you do, Frankie? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. What games do you play? Yeah. Oh, that's a fun mix. a bit of tonal difference, right? Okay. Missing a color there. I'll get that guy. So have you been doing the comics like off stream before that you just enjoy doing? Or was it kind of like also a new thing just to start doing them while you're first time art streaming? There we go. That is what I wanted. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was me for a really long time. Not just the off stream, but only doing art as a hobby. It's only been 7 or 8 years now that I finally realized that it was something that I wanted to do, like professionally. Hotkeys. Yep. Alright, what did I do before? Yep. And heavy on the FF7 music tonight, but I appreciate it. That's awesome. I'm working on improving my speed with doing things. I tend to get, I think, a little bit over perfectionist on things, and it really bogs me down. Which is another nice thing about doing art on stream, is like you start to learn, like, okay, maybe I can move quicker. Oh, darn it. Wrong layer, no. Alright. Yeah, it's not going to transfer well. Okay. I'll just redo it. That's fine. We had chocobos. We had some KK slider. Who can complain? Yep. Yep. I mean, I could just use a bigger brush and obliterate this. So Brigitte, I was saying before, I think it sounded like a ton of people who either do comics professionally or just do other types of art and have worked on like the superhero project stuff, have done caricature stuff before, and they talked about like how it really helped them develop a thick skin, and just oopsies. It was really interesting to me. So I'm curious, have you done any caricature? No, I'm doing it again on the flat color layer. That's what I want. Come on, straight lines. You can do this. That needs to come further over. Come on. Like, I tried my hand a little bit at it, but I just drew like myself. Yeah, I think I did. Hold on, do I have it here? Oh my gosh. Portrait, yeah, I get so nervous doing portraits of people. I just don't want to, like, I am afraid that I'm just going to horribly offend someone. But I guess that's, I spent so much of my life doing art just for myself that it's like whole different thing wrapping my head around doing it for other people. But it's good. Like, I know I need to develop the confidence. Okay, let's see if I can. Come on, OBS. There you are. All right. See if I can bring this over. Oh, that's what I've heard. I've heard people will get intensely vocal if they don't like something, which I guess, that's the other end of the spectrum. Okay. I found it. Good time. So yeah, this was me like practicing like doing a family portrait caricature, but it was also like we were on a cruise ship, the boat was rocking, and I was trying to do it super fast because like, oh, okay, you know, if you're doing caricatures, you gotta be able to churn them out fast because people are waiting. But yeah, it's good times. Good times. That was also, oh my gosh, 3 or 4 years ago. I've grown a lot, it turns out, as an artist. All right. But yeah, it's always interesting. I think that's the coolest thing about going, like, deciding to do like KidLit and actively working on projects is like the amount of growth that you'll get just from completing something is incredible. Like whether it's a dummy or sample pages or a pitch packet. I mean, Brigitte, I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir on you there. It's true. For a certain style, the motion is really, it gives it like an energy, right? It helps it kind of feel alive. All right, get our multiply going, pick our shadow color. We're so close on this. Really? Straight lines, my nemesis. It's true, yeah. I used to like to draw like on my phone with a stylus as well, and it has like an energy to it. And actually, one of my favorite, like that was actually one I did. I did do a portrait like of one of my friends, and it actually came out really well, and it was one of my favorite little pieces I had done for a long time. Okay, you know what? I need a couple more lines here for the panel, the inset, because I did it before and I need to be consistent. But we're just about there. Nope. Yep. There we go. Okay. We're so close. We are so close. I'm going to finish this. I am determined. All right. Turn you off for a second. Just me in the foreground. Cool. What did I do? Make sure this is still intact. Yep, we're good. Cool. All right. We're gonna try it again. Close and fill. Yep. Reference lines. Okay. So Frankie, when do you usually stream? Ah, gotcha. So a late night streamer. Okay. Oh, so like that's all right. Yeah, I'm over here on Eastern time, so that's like what? Yep. That'll do it. That'll do it. And kudos to you. I'm kind of a night owl, but I don't know if I could start stream that late. Oh, for real? You thought the real late nighters from the Eastern time zone? Is that where you are? People of New Mexico. That'd be funny. Anti-Twitch. It's funny, I've never actually been to New Mexico. I did do a grad school like lightning study on it. I'm a meteorologist by education. But we did get out to like Arizona. It's really cool just out that part of the country. I haven't spent as much time as I would like out there. Yeah, you guys get some pretty awesome lightning during the southwest monsoon. Honestly, life in Cactus Land sometimes does not sound so bad to me, especially if you got lots of like pollen allergies. Do you guys have like a pollen season out there? Oh, you do? Okay. So I am learning something new today. Okay. Oh no. I hear you. I'm a bit of a allergy sufferer. I highly recommend it. If you're on the fence about it, I definitely recommend it. It helped. I did it for a few years when I lived in the Mid-Atlantic, and it was just starting to get like have an effect. I was pretty solid for a while until we moved to Georgia, and then I took a break for a few years and it like started losing my immunity. And now I'm back on it again, but in Florida. Okay. Yeah, we're good there. All right. All right. Okay. I am missing a line there. All right. Congratulations. You know what? Sometimes it's a struggle, but it's honestly just making the progress, right? Like, oh, me too. It's so nice. Like, I'll put on art streams, like while I'm doing dishes and stuff, just to kind of give me something to focus on a little bit, but not too involved. Or even during the workday, honestly. Okay, okay. Pretty happy with that. Honestly, I like the idea of having people working along, doing their own stuff like during the stream, because it's like an art studio, right? It feels like you've got that sense of collaboration, kind of got the coworkers going on. Yeah. That doesn't need to be. Okay. That's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was a latecomer to Discord. I'm starting to get the hang of it more. Nope. Always set the reference layer. It's good. Okay, so I'm in good company. That's good to know. I know it's the stream isn't something I'm necessarily doing to be like the main focus, since I work a day job, I've got kids, and I'm doing art to work on projects for KidLit. But I do like to think about like how would I build it out? What would I see a lot of things that are common for Twitch streams. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I could work on that sometime. But I'm kind of just gradually building things out. There's no rush because trying to keep a focus on my first priority tasks first. But it's fun. I am really enjoying streaming so far. I thought at first it would be kind of nerve-wracking, but actually it's been pretty great. Having a good time. Yeah. That's not dark enough. Okay. Yeah, I got a darker one. Can I use that one? Oh. Were you this? Okay, that kind of works. A little bit more difference in the values. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't know, kind of go back and forth, trying to figure out how I want to do things, but for now, trying to like taking it slow and building community and just kind of giving myself a little bit of a safety zone. I think it's good. I know it can get a little wild out there on Twitch.tv. Okay. Well, that is good to keep in mind. Okay. I don't know how loud the music comes across for you guys, but sometimes some of the lo-fi effects on the tracks for Game Chops can be very entertaining when they're blasting in my ears. Okay, there's that. Did I draw on the flat colors layer? Of course I did. That's what you do. Okay, cool. Thank you. So Frankie, what do you like to draw in? Like, do you work digitally, I'm assuming? And you mentioned your phone. That's the pencil. Nice. Okay, so Procreate. I've heard so much good stuff about Procreate. Like, I was originally working, like, I did a little bit with like a Wacom tablet plugged into a PC, but it was one of the ones where you had to look at the screen while you drew, which was, I was starting to get the hang of it a bit, but it took some time. And then I moved to, like, oh my gosh, an iPad 3, which I worked on for quite a while. Yeah, and I hear the interface does a really good job of just kind of getting out of your way. Although I have to say, I would be at this point hard pressed to give up Clip Studio. It's, especially if you're specifically doing comics, it does a lot. Nope. Let's bring that down. You can tell I'm getting a little bit tired. That's okay. We are almost there, guys. Holy moly. I'm actually really glad I was able to do stream tonight. Like, late this afternoon, I started getting just this migraine. I should save. Yeah, Clip Studio is really great. I don't know. I don't know if you're looking for a whole spiel, but yeah, I don't usually get them, but today, and I get the thing where, like, do you ever get the I think they call it like an aura. It's like this like little flashy blinky light will start showing up in my field of vision, and it's like it kind of snakes out where it like grows and it starts covering up like one side of my field of vision, and then once it kind of covers up everything, it'll start to blur out and dissipate, but that's when the actual headache starts. It's really weird, very trippy, but I guess it's lucky to have a warning system to know when I'm about to get a headache, maybe. Yeah, it's so my wife, like, she gets migraines like a lot more frequently, but her experience of it is just totally different. Um, and she doesn't get that. And I describe it to her, and it's like it's wild. Um, Thankfully, it's not a lot. It's like I'll get one or two a year, right? And that's it, and that's okay. I can handle that. How do I do this? I don't draw smoke that much. But yeah, getting back to Clip Studio, it's nice because it does the whole both vector and raster art, which I'm a huge fan of, because it also makes your art super scalable. Because if you do all your lines in vector, those are usually what degrade the most. Yeah, so like all my line layers are these vector layers, which means foreground lines. I can actually change them after I've drawn them. Like I can be like, that's not really as smooth as I want it, so I can, pull that around. I'm gonna undo that, but I can change the thickness of it. I can redraw portions of it. And then if I say I'm like, oh, well, I want to get this printed into a 8-foot by 4-foot poster. I'm not going to do that, but I could do like a 1200 DPI. I could upscale it, and it's actually going to look pretty true. Maybe I'm going to save because I think I can show this. It shouldn't kill my computer too bad. Shouldn't. Edit. Change image resolution. All right, we're gonna go for it. You know what? I'm gonna maybe 600. 600 is good. Still just doubling it. Wow, thank you. Yeah, it's great. I can't speak highly enough of the program. All right, we're thinking about it. There we go. So yeah, this is now double resolution. And it looks just the same. I turned off the anti-aliasing on my pen for the raster layer, so it still has some of the sharper lines there, but that was already there. But yeah, this is doubled resolution. It's not a huge problem, which I really enjoy. I'm gonna go back to original resolution though. It's funny, I started drawing at 300 DPI. Because for a while that was what's like, oh, that's print resolution. Well, now I'm hearing it's more like a 600 DPI for print. But then of course for web, it's like usually they recommend a little bit less. Like I was hearing for a while like 96 or 72 even. So I'm kind of at this weird, awkward in between resolution, but it works for now. Especially since like stuff like this, I'm just drawing for myself. I'll clean up these guys a little bit. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. That's not what I wanted. And you know about the whole time-lapse thing, right? With Clip Studio? How it's just like baked in, where all you have to do is turn on a setting when you start and you can see the whole time lapse of your art. That's a great one because I think I'm actually done. Gonna save you. Yeah, so I turned this on, maybe not at the very beginning. Are you able to see this? Let's see what's going on, OBS. Yeah. So it just, yeah, it's just the whole process. You can just watch the whole thing. It's pretty cool. Yay! Thanks, Brigida. Thanks for joining for so much of this comic process. We did it. I'm so happy. I can... Yeah, it's great. I definitely... I might be a little bit guilty of just staring at the time lapse for a minute or two, being like, yeah, I actually did that. That was me. Okay. All right. Simplify my view here. Zoom out just a bit. Okay. These cabinets are not colored in. Okay. Did I color in any of it? Get that. All right. Fast, right? Right, we can do this fast, and it definitely won't ruin everything. Just touch that up. Touch that up. Touch that up. Man, the hotkey for the color picker, it's one of those things that I knew existed, but just kept forgetting to do. And it feels like I wasted years of my life going back and forth between the, across the screen, doing it the other way. I don't know why that's being funny. Come on, man. Yep. All right, we're just gonna... Hey, thanks for joining, Brigida. Have a great night, and yeah, see you soon, right? For Pono. Okay. Yeah. I still don't use the alpha lock that much, though. I should because I know it's actually quite useful. Wait, what did I do there? Did I get you? That looks a little off. This is the tired part of the night where I just mash the fill tool until it forces filling in with all the area scaling. There we go. Okay. Get you. Get you. Okay. Now it's done. I'm still figuring out the best fill tool for flatting. I've been playing around with some stuff, but I haven't quite gotten it to work the right way. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, Instagram, and then like we have our website too, where I have my portfolio and stuff. We're working on getting an agent for a graphic novel project. So having a portfolio on the website is good too. Okay. Yay. TikTok, really? Oh, yeah. That makes sense. I'll have to think about that. I like that. I know there's actually a lot of illustrators and book people on TikTok. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it either. I was like, oh well, maybe if I have like time lapses, or maybe if I've got VODs from streaming it, then I could maybe do it. So I was starting to think about it, but I didn't know they could do slideshows. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard with social media. It's one of the last things I think about. I'm trying to focus on just one right now, Instagram. We were kind of leaning towards Twitter, and then it became X, and I'm ready to take a little break there. So Instagram is good for now, but we're checking out Blue Sky. I'm doing Twitch for this, and then posting the recordings on YouTube. So it's a lot to manage. We'll get there. Yeah, one of the cool things Clip Studio can also do is you can insert file objects. So I could draw each panel as its own file and then insert it into the frame, so I'd still have individual panels. I've been thinking about doing that. Seems like it might be easier. I mean, then there's the whole like animation thing, which Clip Studio is also an animation program. Oh, cool. I didn't know you could do that in Procreate as well. Nice. But yeah, like I've been playing around with animation, like turning illustrations into animations for like, I'm doing this one for like end of stream. Oh, gotcha. But yeah, so like I'm playing around with, where are you? There you are. So yeah, you can do like keyframes. It's chugging a little bit while it generates all the keyframe, the in-between frames, but this was like just a still illustration I did for like a prompt for a CBWI. I don't know if you're familiar. This is my 7th stream. I just do once a week, Thursday nights. I'm considering doing it more often, but just trying to figure out how it fits in. Family life is busy, but this is like the one time that drawing obsessively behind and like doing a ton of layers for everything has like helped me out. So it made it really easy to animate this piece. I could just grab all the individual layer folders and turn them into animation folders, and then just do, like, I didn't even have to draw anything new. I just had to do keyframes to move them and rotate them. It's super fun. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard, but it's worth it, because like the thing that I realized is I would just be doing all of this anyway. Like, even if I wasn't trying to do like the KidLit stuff, the graphic novel, I'd still be drawing. I spent the first few years of my career just drawing at my desk. It was just literally just for me and like for friends, and like, share my drawings with like my wife and stuff, and that was it. Oh, KidLit, just kids books, right? So that's anything from your picture books to your young adult, which essentially is, adults read young adult stuff too. Whether it's picture book, prose, graphic novel. My wife and I are specifically working in graphic novel. Yeah, it's super fun. It took me a really long time to land on the format. But once I did, it made the most sense in the world based on everything. Yeah, like school-age literature. So there's some really good ones out there. I like to share from our bookshelf. Some of them are more young. Like if you want something that's like a good example, like this is a go-to favorite. You know, I can actually, we're just chatting, so let's go to just chatting. So yeah, this one, here we go. Yeah, The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wong. This is good. Like it's probably like maybe an older middle grade. Some might even classify it as YA. I'm probably biased because I'm working in KidLit, but I don't think you have to be a kid to read it. There's just a ton of good stuff out there. It's really exploding right now, especially, you know, as manga has really caught on in the US in the last couple of decades. Yeah, I think you got to do what's right for you, you know, and I think there's ways to get jokes in there that that adults will laugh at and get, that kind of go over the kids' heads. And really, there's a lot of the best stuff out there for kids actually kind of has that second layer, because the parents are sometimes the gatekeepers, or they'll be sharing or reading it with the kids, and giving them a little something to enjoy is nice too. But yeah, I agree. Like that's our goal for our stuff, is have it just be appropriate for everybody. Exactly. Yeah. And I read it now and I'm like, oh, I never got that joke as a kid, or I never saw that Bill Watterson did that. Yeah, it's kind of layered in that way as well. It's such a good one. Let's see. All right. Oh, so wait, did you do those emotes? Are those yours? Nice. That's super cool. Someday maybe I'll stream enough to make affiliate and do emotes, but those look awesome. They're great. Oh, I like the tomato one. Oh, those are awesome. Nice. I believe it. All right. It is coming up on midnight for me. Tomorrow is a work day. I'm going to have to wrap it up here. But thank you so much, Frankie, for coming by. Ha. I see it now. I see it now. Okay, yeah. Well, hey, thanks for coming out. If anybody else is still watching, thank you for joining. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for checking it out. I appreciate you, and I will be back next Thursday, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. All right, have a good night, Frankie. Thank you. All right, good night, everybody. Bye.